Significant changes could come to Allegheny County and the city of Pittsburgh. Right now, a new county-wide property reassessment is being considered while city leaders look to make painful but necessary cuts to balance the city's budget. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Taylor in for Ken Rice tonight. We begin in Allegheny County, where the fate of a county-wide property reassessment now lies in the hands of the county council. A trio of council members introduced legislation moments ago at tonight's meeting. It asks for the county to conduct regular reassessments every 3 years, starting in the year 2028. And here's KDKA investigator Megan Schiller to explain what this would mean for taxpayers. Megan?
Josh, thanks so much. Well, we've been posting about this on social media, and it is very clear not everyone really understands what this will mean for their money, or they're against the idea of this for one main reason, that is actually against state law. So let's break down some of the misconceptions and what tonight's legislation even means. At County Council Tuesday, a trio of council members introduced legislation to get the county to conduct property reassessments every 3 years. We haven't seen a countywide reassessment in Allegheny County in more than a decade. And because of that, experts say some are paying too much and others are paying too little.
And because we fund our public school system based on property taxes, our schools are severely underfunded. And there's just this, again, gross inequity all throughout the county, where really the residential property owners are bearing the brunt of all of the commercial property owners, particularly the downtown big wealthy corporations.
Council member at large Bethany Hallam says corporations can afford to keep appealing, eventually paying less and less, while new homeowners in Allegheny County get hit with huge bills that they didn't budget for, called the newcomer tax. Right now, Pennsylvania is the only state without regular reassessments.
I also think that when people understand that state law actually protects you from your taxes being increased whenever there's a property tax reassessment, because there's this thing called the anti-windfall provision. And what it says is that a taxing body cannot get a windfall, which is basically a revenue increase, by a reassessment.
Hallam says experts estimate 1/3 of people will pay less, 1/3 will pay the same, and 1/3 will end up paying more.
Because of the anti-windfall provision, if tax values after we do a reassessment, let's say countywide, they double, we are legally required to cut the millage rate in half.
She thinks this legislation can pass if the county works to educate people on the topic.
Because I do think folks have every right to be concerned. Everything in their lives is more expensive right now, and having to worry that your taxes are going to be an additional increased expense that you're going to see is definitely cause for concern, but that's just not the reality of what happens with countywide reassessments.
So here's what happens next. The bill's introduced, so it's sent now to committee, where they're going to have hearings about the bill, debate its merits, and people can introduce any amendments and change it. Then it'll head back to the full council for a vote. Josh?
Okay, Megan, what are the biggest holdups with this? It seems like a lot of people are adamantly against it.
Right. I mean, a lot of people understandably don't want to hear anything about anything going up, right? I mean, the point is not lost that everything's more expensive. Hardly anyone's getting the call from their boss that they're getting a pay raise or they're getting a new job that makes a ton more money. So a lot of people just don't have any extra money to spend. And the other thing is that some people say they want to see the property taxes just go away altogether. They'd like to see another way that we could fund our schools, but that right now just isn't getting any traction in the legislature.
Sounds like you need to keep an eye on it. Thanks,
Yeah.
Megan.